Hey, everybody. Welcome back to a new episode, another episode of Previously On. As always, I'm your host, Lemus. With me, also as always, is my co host, Digital Dachi.
Now
Um,
beardless.
Now beardless, but he still looks fine. Everybody sound off. Everybody sound off in your comment share and let him know he still looks like a good human being there. It looks fine. It looks like a fine, upstanding member of society. In the sound off, make sure you
That's
sound
the
off.
original Levi Leather voice. I just want you to know.
Oh, that's scary. Scary then.
Yeah, that's where Levi
Um,
Leather was and came out.
who knows?
The
Anyhow,
horrors that I
uh,
really.
it's July, people. This is our July the 9th episode of Previously On. I got a little bit. I told you guys last week you could see my setup. Again, I need to get like a light back here or something so you guys can see it a little better. You can see some of my collection stuff. You see some of that back here. So also the only thing about this setup is my monitor is over here and you guys are here. So I have a weird tendency that I keep wanting to look over here because this is where I see Dachi and I see my notes for the week. So if I keep glancing over, please bear with me. I'm a professional now. I'm going to try to talk to the camera to you all. I'm getting there. It's a new week, new setup, new getting used to. So here we are, July the 9th, 2021. It's a brand new month. It's a same old year. But got a lot of exciting things to talk about. I feel like I've got a little bit more to talk about this week than last week's episode, which, as you may or may not know, was I was in a hotel. Hopefully, it's not as choppy. I got to check that here. Hopefully, it's not nowhere near as choppy as it was in the hotel. I rewatched that episode and I apologize to everyone involved. Um, so enough of my rambling. Let's dive right into it. Dachi, what you been into this week, sir?
Mm, I'm on vacation. That's what I've been into.
Yes. I was just gonna say it's start of your vacay. So how you enjoying that so far?
Uh, Great so far. Slept a lot today. Had a
Not,
lot
nothing
later
wrong with
than I
that.
should have. Woke up a lot later than I wanted.
I mean, it's your vacation. That if you can't, I mean, that's really the time to stay up later and sleep in later is vacation. Also, I happen to know the guy that you was playing games with that you stayed up later than you should have. He apologizes, but it was fun and we did get good content out of that.
Yeah, really nothing out of the ordinary. I did my work week. Finally got off. Ran away as fast as possible.
Ran away a little too fast, from what I gather. A little bit of automobile difficulty.
Well, the battery in
How's
my
that going?
truck's just, I need to go get it replaced, I believe.
Fun times, fun times. Yeah,
I beat
nothing
Resident
like.
Evil 7.
Oh,
I've,
finally.
I thought I had something else to say, now I don't remember, but, oh, I've tried some different food stuff that I'll have to talk about when we get to it.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, okay.
That's pretty much it.
All right. Well, the doing is the biggest portion I have to talk about. Well, the doing and eating is probably my biggest portions. So let's dive into this because I'm going to give you guys the breakdown and Dachi here. We've talked to each other during the week, but mostly we've just been playing Star Wars. So there's a lot of like my weekend that went down that I don't think I've even told you about
No, we
for the
haven't,
trip last weekend. We've not really
we
touched on
purposefully not talked about that because you wanted to do it here.
it. Exactly. And to get your live reactions along with the audience. Not that this is a live video, but you get the idea.
For me, it's a live video.
True, true. Um, so obviously we went down on Friday and you seen me at the hotel ish. It was a little shaky there, but a little excuse me, um, glitchy. And at that point, we hadn't really done much. We again had worked part of the day, and then I picked her up, and we went to Speedway, got some snacks and drinks and gas, and hit the interstate, and pretty much drove almost straight there. We made one stop halfway, got gas, used the bathroom, and got some Wendy's chicken nuggets. They were not good, and normally I love Wendy's chicken nuggets, but they were very spongy. The ones we got, and I don't really care for spongy nuggets. So,
Would you
but
call
then
them
obviously
spungents?
I'd call them
Spuggets?
spuggets. Spuggets was what I was gonna say. Yeah, so spuggets.
Spuggets.
Call them spuggets from now on. There we go. I like it. All right, sound off below. Hashtag spuggets. I just feel like if that takes off as a trend,
If that's the one thing that happens out of this,
that,
I'm going
yeah,
to jump out in front of traffic.
the one thing I'm gonna jump over a railing after a giant robot. But that's another story.
After a giant what?
After a giant robot, I'm gonna
Oh.
jump after a giant robot over a railing.
Oh, God, I wish. Maybe I'll add that clip in. I know exactly when it is because I went and looked at it. The fear was perfect.
The fear was I said elevated. It elevated in me, escalated. Chutes and ladders. Anyhow, so we get to the hotel. Pretty normal night. Dad had to work, and so we just was making a night hanging out in the hotel. Which, as you've seen, I will say we went to go find food because we were starving by the time we got there. It was late. It was like 6 something. So we was trying to decide where to get food. We know there is a Frisch's, Big Boys, right out the hotel, but we also have one of those here, or not here where we live, but in London, which is right the town next to us. We have one of those down here, basically. So we didn't want to eat somewhere we have down here. So we went to Chick-fil-A because Chick-fil-A. Gotta love it.
Went
And
and
it's
had the
quick,
Lord's
it's easy,
calories.
painless. That's right. But we also realized not only would we need Chick-fil-A, but since we was going to be there that night and then the next morning, that we would need like some drinks and snacks for the hotel. So we went to a Myers, and Myers is where I got those pretzel sticks that I did the taste test of. And we also got some bottled water and juice, stuff like that.
I
And
really like
then
Myers.
I
I know
do
I work
too.
for a different retail company, but I like Myers. They just seem to have better quality meats and stuff.
Well, I know they had better snacks because I haven't really been in Myers, but maybe one other time.
Oh, they're great.
It's pretty good. I'm gonna have to make another trip back. It was a nice. We was only in there
There's
for a
one in
few minutes.
Richmond
Noted. I
where I
may
always
check
went.
that one out soon.
Oh,
Okay.
that's where I got all my ramen stuff.
Ooh, gotcha. Okay, I'll look into it. So yeah, cause I enjoyed it. I think the only other time I'd been to Meyer was we went with her mom a couple times on Cincinnati trips, but I digress. So then we went to the hotel, ate, and did our thing. So now we stayed at a Quality Inn. Quality Inns are not terrible. They're not the worst hotels, but they're also not the best. The best that we stayed at when we was up there was the Hilton hotels. We stayed at 2 different Hilton hotels. We stayed at a Homewood Suites and a True by Hilton. Both of those were phenomenal and our favorite stays when we went up there. Sadly, they're also a little more expensive. You get what you pay for kind of deal. So for this weekend, we wanted to make the trip down while we had the holiday extra days off. So went with Quality Inn, which is a little bit cheaper than Hilton. And so again, the quality's not perfect. It's not as good or not as nice. It's not as clean and stuff, but it still's not as bad as like other places as it could have been. It definitely was something that it works. My biggest complaint about that room, and this is the only thing I'm going to really complain about, is they don't have like a thermostat like in the Hilton rooms, for instance. You have like a wall thermostat like you would in your house. They didn't have that there, and both times we stayed at Quality Inn, they didn't have a thermostat on the wall. All they have is this big, huge, like unit, like air heating unit that's over by the window, over on the wall thing. and you have to open this little flap, and you can click cool or heat, and you put to whatever temperature you want. It's kind of like a weird thermostat, but so at our home here, we keep it at 69 degrees. We're weird. I know a lot of people think that's crazy, but
Mine's at
69 is our
67,
perfect
so
temperature. So there you go. 69 to us is perfect temperature. Not too hot, not too cold. It's just right. So I set this thing to 69 and put it on cool because it's the middle of the summer. It's what you do. But the problem is, so there's this big, huge, long thing. I mean, it is literally the length of the bed, and it's literally like, here's where I'm laying in the bed. Here's where this thing is. Like literally, I have enough room in the floor to walk, and then there's that big old air unit. So when it starts pumping out, it blasts. I mean, it blasts cold air out, which is great because it's summertime, but it's not great because it's blasting it directly onto you. And
see, I would
so
disagree. I would sleep like a baby. I love being cold and sleeping.
I do. Well, here's the thing. So,
Yeah, I've
and
stayed in
that's
those kind
where
of hotels, and for me
it
personally, it's perfect.
it got better, and I will agree when it got more tolerable. So the first night, for whatever reason, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's just because for us we're weird, you sleeping away from home and stuff, but we didn't want to sleep under the cover. Like we didn't want to use their covers and stuff. We pulled them back, but we didn't actually get under the covers, and that's probably why we froze to death. Because then the rest of the time we was there, like the second night, I'm like, ah, screw it, I'm just going to use the covers, and that is nice. There is something. That's why even during the winter we will sleep with a fan. Like I do have to have a fan on at all times because A, I have to prefer the cold, and B, because there's something about when it is cold enough to wrap yourself up in the big blanket that just makes it so much more cozy and nice. So I get where you're coming from on that. And I do agree the second and third day we did kind of enjoy that part a little bit better. But I digress. I did like the thermostat part a little bit better, but like you, it's a balance out because it's a lot cheaper for, so and it's still not a bad hotel. Um so ultimately though, day number 2, we get up that morning. Don't know what time mom and dad's going to be up. Don't want to rush and wake them up because we know that our swimming day, our pool day at my aunt and uncle, that their pool, and they have a huge back deck and a nice big in-ground pool and a whole fenced-in pool area and a grilling area and 2 big tables and stuff for company and everything. They have the works, the awesome setup for hosting and pool parties and such. But they were going to be out of the house visiting family Saturday, so we wouldn't be doing the pool thing till Sunday. So Saturday was very much just the chill and visit day. So we was all sleeping in a little bit, but me and the wife pull early hours. So anyhow, we got up early, turned on the TV, was just going to hang out at the hotel for a while, and lo and behold, after Dachi had literally talked about it in last week's previously on, we caught the tail end of Attack of the Clones, Star Wars Episode 2. Literally, when I turned it on to that channel, it was Yoda, Mace, and Obi-Wan all sitting around, and Yoda doing the whole "begun the Clone Wars," and then it like shows the big old army of the clones and stuff. And then it played episode 3, and we watched episode 3 in its entirety because when you get a chance to watch episode 3 on TV randomly from the beginning to end, you do it. You just do. One does not simply not do that. So we did, and it was very enjoyable. I loved it. I enjoyed every second of it. And then we started episode 1. For some reason, after 2 and 3, it started playing episode 1. And we started that.
I like the guy at the production company was dyslexic with numbers.
I mean, he's probably confused because it is Star Wars, who their numbers get mixed around anyways. We had 4, 5, and 6, 1, 2, 3,
7, 8, 9.
7, 8, 9. So like,
Then all the little off movies somewhere in there.
so it's not his fault, I guess.
Why not? Let's blame him anyway.
Fair
Right.
enough. But then they parents got up with us. We went over to their apartment. We went with Dad because we had to find a maternity or like a swimsuit that would fit for Baby Bump. And so we went looking for that. We went to Target. They had some maternity swimsuit type things, which were nice but super expensive. I love Target, but they were pricey. And again, this weekend wasn't exactly a weekend we had a lot of money to be pricey with or to be choosy with. It was more about the going down and visit and have fun and less about spending money. So then we went to a place called Gabe's, which has like clothes and a bunch of different stuff for like discount prices. And we found some really good stuff. We actually was able to get her a swimsuit and a pair of sweatpants because she had really been wanting some like jogging pants or sweatpants again with the growing baby bump and stuff. Wanted a little bit looser, stretchier clothes to stretch with her, and we found really good deals on both of those. I think the swimsuit was like $8, and then the sweatpants was like $10. So altogether, still cheaper than the one swimsuit at Target, which again, worked out in the long run. So then for dinner, what we decided to do was just eat in. We decided Dad wanted to do, and if you know my father, Dachi knows my father. You're going to understand when I say this.
I'm gonna do with
He wanted to
chicken.
get he wanted to get fried chicken for dinner,
Would have
as
thought.
he does.
Is
So,
what to do.
but we and as he suggested to win over my wife, he suggested, "Oh, we'll get mashed taties with him." And so there she was, hook, line, and sinker. And look at me. I was going to eat whatever they put down there, anyways, as long as it wasn't sardines, because we talked about this earlier. I won't eat sardines. I don't like mushrooms either. That's another story.
Mushrooms I could eat before I would sardines.
Same. Agreed. Like, I'm not a big mushroom fan, but I would do it before sardines.
Sardines
Anyhow,
are last on any list.
to the good food. So we went to this place called Rimke, which is kind of like their hybrid Kroger Save a Lot type deal.
That's the
Awesome
place we
store.
went to when I was with you.
I believe so. I would assume. Yeah. I remember. Yeah,
Okay.
you went with us there. I like Rimke pretty good. So we got their fried chicken and mashed potatoes, and apparently Dad from somewhere else had gotten green onions. But man, they were massive green onions, and they were delicious. But he also went at the suggestion of my grandmother. Shout out to Mamaw. Uh, that he went to Aldi's and got this stuff called, and you're gonna hate this because I know you don't like it, but we love it. Was a cucumber dill spread or a dill cucumber spread. So good. It's like dill and cucumbery
Who's
flavor.
paying you to have to say that?
No. I loved it, and I love cucumber and dill, and it's in like a cream cheese spread, and cream cheese
All
is
right, guys.
great.
There's somebody off camera holding a gun towards him.
No,
They're
I
holding
like
up cue
you.
cards like, say this
You
or
may
die.
not. You may not because I know you don't like cucumbers, but I like cucumbers and I like pickles. So what Dad did is he got these little. There's like these little square toast things. They're like tiny little pieces of toast, and you put some of the dill spread on there. Oh, and then had that with the green onion, the fried chicken, the mashed taties. Excellent dinner at home indoors without having just a thrown together at home meal. It was awesome. One of the best like dinners at home I've had in a while. And I've ate some good dinners at home. So then we pretty much just watched like YouTube and TikToks and caught up, talked, and just chilled and hung out. And then went back to the hotel and relaxed for the night. Oh, and while I was at a store, and I forgot to bring it in here, but I'm going to talk. I forgot to write it down, but I will talk about it because I've already tried it. I've already opened them, but I think it's at Rimke's I got these. It was at Rimke's I got it, but I'll talk about that in the food. I got some new sauce. So then I guess then would move on to Sunday. Okay, so let me start with Sunday morning because that was the first funny thing that I had happen, like a doofus. To the person who owns the white vehicle that looks shockingly like mine up in Florence, Kentucky, I apologize if you've seen me
Tried
or
to
if
get in
you've
their
seen my
car, didn't you?
fingerprints. Yeah. I thought it was my car. I don't know how. It was early, okay? So I went to go get us some kind of like snack cakes for breakfast and get the wife some coffee to drink and stuff. And I was coming back out, and there's literally two white vehicles in this entire parking lot. Two little white cars with the little fins on the top, because that's normally how I know mine. I wasn't paying attention. It's early. I'm tired. I've got a big day planned ahead. I go over and I click the little unlock button on my car door, and I grab it, and go click, click. And then I noticed when I clicked that second time there after trying to get in, this it wasn't making it wasn't even making the sound like it was unlocking. And I kind of had a moment where I kind of was like, thought it was my key fob going like dead or something. And then I'm just like, and then I look in the back seat of these people's car and realize it's not my car. And I look over and mine is across on the other aisle of the parking lot sitting there. It's pretty bad.
Those people are
I'm,
gonna commit a murder, and you're gonna get framed for it. They're gonna have your fingerprints.
I'm pretty sure there was a dude about to call the cops on me because when I was pulling out, there was a guy standing outside of Rimke's that was like staring at me the whole time and on his phone doing something.
So this was at the store you did this?
Yes, well, because where our Quality Inn is, so you've seen the Rimke's near mom and dad's apartment.
Yep.
So there's another Rimke, a Rimke Markets is what it's called, over right by our hotel. Like it's literally our hotel parking lot is like right here. There's a little like grass strip, and then there's the parking lot for Rimke. It's right in front of it, within walking distance. So, yeah. So that was my first big flub, and I apologize to you if you're watching. I doubt you are, but if you ever do in the future, it was me, and I'm sorry. Honest mistake. If you ever see my vehicle, honest mistake. I wasn't trying to break into your car. I didn't see anything in there I wanted. Okay, I just was trying to get back to the
So if
hotel.
there was something, you would
No,
take it.
no,
What
I
you
had
just
to make
implied.
note.
That's
No,
what you
no.
implied. No. You
No,
already
there's no
stepped in this.
implication here. No,
Oh,
no one
definitely
is in
implication.
danger. No one is in danger.
We said anybody was
There,
in danger.
there things, the
Their
things
things
are
are
not
in
in danger.
danger.
No, that was never an option. There was no thing. There was no things in there to be in danger. Point is, that was that was me other thing. Me Lucky Charm.
Me dollar.
That was the other thing. So the hotel, and it's not a bad thing because look, I could use the extra walk, but it is kind of a sucky thing when you get a pregnant wife because she doesn't need the extra walk. So the hotel is 2 stories, and the guy at the front desk was kind of rude. I don't know if he meant it that way or if like Dad had talked about, it may just be like his. Some people seem that way when they're not meaning to. It's just kind of how their like facial expressions and stuff is. But anyhow, the first thing I noticed is we came in, we was wearing our mask because literally at the front door to the hotel when you're first coming in, it says please wear a mask. We was wearing a mask, doing our part, being safe, And we get up there and he goes, "You can take that off. We're done with that here." Done with what? Like, and I'm like, okay. So I took mine off. Wife kept hers on because she's still wanting to be safe and stuff, especially with the baby. But it was just the first one. He goes, "We're done with that here." Like, just so straight and matter of fact. And then he lets us know. He goes, "So your room is on the second floor. Take a left and another left after you go up these stairs and cross the breezeway. Sorry, we don't have elevators here." And at first, I thought they just meant the elevators didn't work. Then it dawned on me the place is only 2 stories high, so they just don't have elevators at all. Which makes sense, I guess, if you're only 2 stories high. I guess you don't really need elevators, but it was still just random to me being in a hotel and he's just like, "We don't have elevators here." And I'm thinking, "Oh, they're just out of order." No, no, no. They never ordered them to begin with. Um, but it ended up working out because we had to go all the way back this hall, all the way down this hall, and then all the way back this hall. But there's a set of stairs that leads down to the parking lot right there. You just have to badge in and out of it, kind of thing. So that worked out. So to wrap up this little charade here, because I'm getting long-winded, I'm ranting here a little bit. Sunday, we went to the pool. We had Donato's Pizza, which is the best pizza. Prove me wrong. We swam, which is always incredible. I love a good swim, especially on hot days. I'm a water dog when I get in the water, man. I love it. I did get a little sun. I got a little burn on my arms and face. I did get stung by a wasp in the pool. That was fun. No, it wasn't.
The only person ever known to get stung by a wasp while inside a pool.
Oh, I know. The 2 times I've got stung by a wasp in my life, only twice, and both times it's ridiculous things. The first time was when I was at my Papa John's, and he had these really cool like wooden swing bench things that he made, and I sat down on one, and I just went to put my arms down on the arm things. You know what I'm talking about? You know, the armrest. That's the word, armrest.
I was gonna
Um,
let you get there. I knew you were close.
and turns out there was a wasp on the armrest I was about to put my arm down on. I didn't know it. Some friends was there. They tried to tell me to stop. They tried to warn me, and I didn't. I didn't catch it in time because right when I'm there, like, oh no, and then I was like, what? And I'd already put my arm down, and then I felt the stinging begin, and I lift my arm up. There's a dead wasp because I crushed it with my arm. But before I crushed it, it took me with it. Tried
It's
to.
just like this, and
Um,
it's like, oh crap, flip, think.
so
You're
and then
taking me
this
out. I'm
time-
taking you with me. Only not really, because you're a lot bigger than I am.
This time I had a shirt on and it stung me through my shirt. That's the sucky part. Um, and I'm in the pool because I didn't want to get too burnt. We didn't get sunscreen, so I had my shirt on. But I'm floating around, chilling, just relaxing, and all of a sudden I feel an extremely sharp stinging pain in my arm here. Like it stung me, yeah, right here. It's right in here. I don't even know if you guys see that, but it's right in that area. I just feel it, and I instantly do this right here, and I was like, "What the heck was that?" And I turn around in the pool, and there's just the body just floating of this wasp, all crunched up and just floating. And I was like, "F my luck, man." You know, like really, like how in the heck did I man? Like you said, how did I manage that? But you know, my arm was good and numb for a little while. It's funny, the rest of my arm kind of felt like numb and kind of went dead arm, but I still felt the sting. Like every time my shirt or anything would rub up against it, it would still sting and aggravate me. But it didn't stop me from having a wonderful day. We at one point, because it was getting later in the day because it was a full day, so me and Dad ran and did got some chips, and we got a bunch of chips and a bunch of snack cake stuff, and we got some burgers and stuff like that to snack on, and some more drinks, which was fun. It was a nice little getting out and getting to bond with Dad for a little bit and talk to him, and then some one-on-one time kind of stuff. Then we went back, we swam some more, and so my aunt and uncle, their back deck is like upper floor. Their house is technically 2 stories, more a basement like level with a room and all that stuff, bathroom stuff down in the basement level, and then their upper floor. But everything, it's hard to explain. But anyhow, their back deck sits up pretty high, and they got nice furniture. They got a little fire pit up there. So we go up there every year to watch the fireworks because they live in a neighborhood full of people with nice houses and stuff, and they literally put off fireworks all around us. It was a lot of fun. I love fireworks. I'm easily mystified by them. I think they're magical. I think they're so much fun to watch and see. And we really had a huge blast and had a great time. Monday morning, we got up, got dressed, we checked out of the hotel, we headed back down here, and then chilled out for the day. But we did have a lot of fun, and that was pretty much the doing. Yep, that was my doing. So sorry for that one being a longer section, but I don't have a whole lot to talk about in these other sections, so we should be able to burn through those pretty quick. We're going to start.
Me dying, apparently.
We're going to transition with. You been watching anything, brother?
I watched the Lego Movie again, which is always a fun watch. I love Legos.
I love that movie, and I do love Legos too. It's a great movie. It's a very underrated movie. Everything is awesome,
When you're part of a team.
and when you got your pants.
You're crackhead.
There's a whole arc in the movie about his pants.
Whatever. I haven't watched anything else, I don't think. Trying to remember.
You watch episode 3, also.
I did not watch episode. That did not happen.
Oh, you was going to. Okay,
We
gotcha.
I just watched a Lego movie.
I couldn't remember if you was going to or did. Lego movie's still a really good one.
I did look on Redbox to see what kind of stuff they had.
Ooh, I ain't been to a Redbox or looked at a Redbox in a while.
Went to the one next to your old house. Over on Golden Eagle.
Oh, the dollar store over there?
Yeah.
Nice.
They had a lot. They got the Godzilla movies except the first one. They got
Ooh.
a couple of the Kong movies.
Nice.
Both
nice.
Deadpool movies.
Those are great. We own one of those, maybe two of those.
I think I don't think I watched anything else. I was just
Nice.
going off on tangent.
Oh, you're good. I went on a real long tangent, so no, I don't blame you there. I watched. Obviously, we're still watching Loki and Star Wars: Bad Batch. Both of those are going great. Loki episode this week was pretty phenomenal. Had a lot of like cool little Easter eggs and cool little moments. And then we watched movie or sorry, I watched the first two episodes of the new Resident Evil anime, Infinite Darkness on Netflix. But it's pretty good. They're quick, like 20-25 minute episodes. It's a animation style as Resident Evil Degeneration and Damnation and Vendetta. And I know there was another one, but I can't think of it. But you get the Revelations. Was it Revelation? No, maybe
Revelation was a game.
Gotcha. So either way, it's the
I
same
think.
kind of like animation, like 3D CG type animation as those. But I like those movies. Of course, I'm biased because Leon's my favorite character. But this new show's pretty good. It's very interesting. I'm only 2 episodes in, and I think there's only 4 episodes so far. So I'll watch the other 2 soon. But I'm in. There's some spooky stuff. There's some stuff that I'm thinking like, man. There's one particular instance where in the second episode that I am. Ooh, I thought if you've ever played Resident Evil 6, I'm going to go into spoiler territory for just a minute, okay? So if you don't want spoilers, skip ahead about like 5 minutes or so. Resident Evil 6.
There's a noise or something. I don't know.
Caca. I don't know. I'll make a signal. Anyhow, spoiler territory. Resident Evil 6. There's a scene that is absolutely terrifying, and it's zombies on an airplane. And I loved it, but it's when you think about the reality of that, you're on an airplane and the outbreak happens.
I mean, where are you gonna go?
Exactly, and you would
Just
think
another reason why I'm never gonna be on an airplane.
You would think that's about as bad as it gets, but now imagine that airplane doesn't have wings; it has propellers, and imagine the pressure-sealed cabinet is now underwater, deep underwater, and you're in a submarine, and there's a breakout of zombie virus. Furthermore, the breakout either came from, started, or caused. You thought zombie dogs was the worst of your problems? No, son, you got zombie rats. And those things are lethal and agile and scary as crap. You're welcome for the nightmares because now I have them. Spooky stuff.
That's
but
interesting.
Also,
because
yeah.
I feel like in the originals, you see all these rats eating on the dead flesh, but they didn't turn, did they? They just carried.
Exactly. Which makes me wonder what's different in this scenario, because I will say, again, spoilery a little bit.
I mean,
but Leon does straight up say whenever he sees the first rat that's like that, he does straight up say that's when the first time he says it's a bioweapon. So that does lead me to think it could be different than the original whatever was happening.
Unless they just retconned it. Because if I remember right, the rats did not get infected. They just carried it.
Exactly. And these definitely are
infected. Do you remember them being like that? I can't remember. For 100%.
I don't, because again, I feel like you would have had to fight them in the games, and I don't remember ever having to actually shoot or kill rats.
Well, back in the day, though, I mean, how would you have made a rat something you could have shot because of fixed camera angles?
Fair enough. Yeah, that would have been difficult.
But I thought they said that it was just carriers. I didn't think it said that they were actually infected. I thought they were immune because of all the junk they deal with.
Sorry, Anna, pop up.
Be wrong.
Uh,
Be wrong.
but yeah, it's interesting so far. I'm definitely going to look more into it. I like it. I'm enjoying it, but again, I'm biased. Other than that, we did go watch Black Widow tonight. We just got back from that a couple hours ago.
While I
Yeah,
was
a couple
dead to the
hours
world
ago.
sleeping.
It was good. I recommend it. I'm biased, and I was on the hype train just because I've not seen a Marvel movie a new Marvel movie. Let me fix that. In 2 years, almost exactly 2 years, because the last like Marvel movie we had in theaters, like new movie, was Spider-Man: Far From Home, which was 2 years ago. And so, yeah, I was pretty well having withdrawals and wanting a new movie. And this, but to be fair, for me, it's not just the bias and the hype and stuff. It checked a lot of the boxes. I'm not going to go into spoiler territories because it is so new and because Dachi's not seen it. And I know he's on the fence about it, but I do highly recommend it because it is really good. It checked a lot of the boxes on like even though this story, and this isn't spoilers because it's in the trailers and all the press stuff and it's just 101. It takes place or right after Marvel Civil War. It's basically in between Civil War and Infinity War. So at the end of Civil War, I will spoil Civil War a little bit. Black Widow goes on the run. She helps Cap and them, and Tony basically tells her they're going to hunt you down now too. You're a fugitive. So this takes place right after Civil War, so it's in that little in between area, but it still has this feeling of the old school, the like origin movies kind of thing. It still feels like a fresh one off like starter movie in the old school MCU universe stuff because you don't have like 5 other Avengers showing up in this. You don't have a bunch of like big time heroes like all teaming up the way you did in Infinity War and Endgame or even Civil War. Even in the Spider-Man movies, you had like Iron Man showing up. Like you don't have that here. It's literally about her and her characters and roots, and you got some new characters and villains brought in. Um, and I'll go into more spoiler detail later on, but very good movie. I appreciated it. It felt like an old school classic superhero movie. I enjoyed it. I recommend it, me personally, especially if you're a Marvel fan or even a superhero movie fan or just a good movie fan. Go watch it. Good. It's got a lot of action and effects, so it's a good theater movie to watch. There you go. You been reading anything? Speaking of comics,
No. I'll just straight out say it. I did not read anything this week at all.
I'm going to burn through just real quick because I read a couple comics, but I'm not going to touch into too much detail. I did read Fantastic Four 32 and 33 issues. Issues 32 and 33, which is The Bride of Doom Part 1 and 2. It's pretty good. I'm a big Doctor Doom fan, as you may or may not know. Yeah, he's right up here. He's over here. I don't know if you can see him on my. Well, obviously can't see him, but he's over here.
See him?
Uh, I'm a big Doctor Doom fan, so said Doom's getting hitched, and it's a big special thing. So I was like, gotta check this out. So it's pretty good, pretty good as always. Reed Richards and his Fantastic Four find a way to mess things up.
I like how they're the good guys, but they mess it up.
In this case, you would be surprised, but in this case, they did actually. Doom legit. So his whole agreement was he actually has a chess match / sword fight with Reed Richards, and basically he challenges him, and he's like, the winner gets to ask anything, any request of the other person. They have to do it. And Reed's like, what is this all about? And Doom's like, well, I'm just saying, you could ask me to do anything. I could stand down. I could never be a ruler again. This too good an opportunity for you to pass up. Well, obviously Doom wins. And then he says, now you have to do whatever I ask. And he goes, you're going to be my best man. So he went through the whole charade because it's Doom, of course. But he also says anybody who shows up to the wedding in support, he will forgive past transgressions and make amends and stuff. And right before the wedding, so like the Fantastic Four all show up and everything, and he even goes to his science tech lab and tells them to destroy all of his war projects and all of his anti-Fantastic Four like schemes and stuff. Tells him to destroy it all, take it all down, because he's legit about starting this new chapter. He said, if I'm going to seem legit, I got to be legit. Just go ahead and get rid of it all. And they're like, well, we've been working on this stuff for centuries trying to destroy the Fantastic Four. And he goes, I don't care. Doom is a man of his word. But, and I'll just go ahead and tell you spoilers for this, because I know you probably won't get around to reading it, so you'll find out through me. Johnny slept with his bride. Now, granted, it was like a week before the wedding, but still, it comes out at the wedding that Johnny kind of hooked up with her. And so then Doom's like, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna kill you all. And then that's where
Plans
it ends.
on.
What?
Plans on.
Plans on. Yeah. Stop destroying. Start rebuilding. We're starting from the top. But I mean, he even says, he's like, I literally invited you into my home and was trying to do the right thing, and you guys still kind of disrespected me in my own place. And it's just like, yeah, that's pretty bad. So
Well, Johnny
interesting
can't
thing.
keep it in his pants anyway. I mean,
No,
it's bad.
no. Friggin' Johnny Storm, man. But so that was interesting. And then I read the next Demon Days comic, which is the Japanese style artwork and yokai stuff they're doing. As you see, also behind me, I have Demon Days X-Men. So this week or this month or whatever, the most recent issue was Demon Days Mariko. Or Mariko, however you pronounce that, which is interesting because it has like that version, a version of Black Widow in it, which is, I think, is the Black Widow movie. Or it's probably just they planned that in the release team. But still, that's all I've really been reading is comic booky stuff. But it's all been really good. So next up, we're getting into some getting close to the good stuff here. So playing, I'm going to say I've been playing two things, and one of those things is the same thing you've been playing. I played a little more in Resident Evil 8. Not much to report yet. Still pretty good. Still kind of spooky. Still kind of like, grooving. And Star Wars: The Old Republic, which we have both been playing a great deal of. I'll let you discuss on that now.
Well,
Bend their ear.
I thought I heard something moving at my desk. I was like, what's going on?
That would
Demons.
freak me out.
Anyway,
it's the rats, the plague rats.
yeah, they're gonna come busting through the window in the form of Optimus Prime in a minute. What a weird. My brain, it goes places.
Yeah, I see that.
But
I hear that.
I beat Resident Evil 7 finally after 2 months of
Me
trying
telling you
to.
to.
For spoilers reasons, I'm gonna waive this for spoilers. Anything past this is your own fault.
Right.
The grandma, like, it was kind of a suspicion the whole time. Like, they didn't give you any.
No, but we kind
They
of
didn't give anything that's like, hey, this old crazy bat's gonna be the problem.
It's going to be Evelyn.
But you couldn't shoot her. If you pointed a gun at her, your thing wouldn't shoot.
She kept popping up everywhere.
She popped up anywhere that any of these people were. But she
And-
did not go like trying to kill anybody, which was interesting because everybody else was kind of homicidal and nobody else was.
And that's what I'm going to say. So, like, me and you kind of theorize it. Like you said, I don't, using the word like called it makes it seem more like it was apparent. But no, I mean, we theorized it, and me and you both said that we both thought that it was going to turn out to be Evelyn or turn out to be not even part of the family. And one thing that I will notice looking back, again, it's not apparent when you're playing it, but looking back at it, you notice the family doesn't even reference her or mention her. Like, that's just it. We all call her grandma and assume that's grandma. The family doesn't ever actually call her grandma. They don't
No.
ever actually really reference her at all. In all their notes and videos, that
She's not
family
in
never
any
even
video or
mentions-
any pictures of the family.
Exactly. They don't mention her.
She's just there because I guess
That's
she's
just
just
Evelyn.
she's just in their minds. Because there's
Exactly.
almost, if anybody's watched Naruto, which a lot of us have, but Naruto can talk to his tailed beast, Kurama, spoilers, whatever. It's been over for years. Get with the times.
True that.
They can go into this little dream dimension or whatever, their inner thoughts, and talk to their tailed beast and all the other tailed beasts on an even deeper field, whatever. But
Yeah.
you get to talk to the father, and all he wants is his family freed. So that right there,
Oh yeah. I forgot about that.
he only mentions himself, the mother, Lucas, and the daughter.
And Zoe, yeah.
He never once mentions the grandma.
Right, because
Or
she's
the
the
old
one
lady.
doing it. She's the one they need freed from.
But there's notes. I don't know if you did, but I any note I find in Resident Evil, I read in its entirety.
There's one down in that mine shaft that
It
explains
says,
it all.
says something like, "We did this. We injected this child with this, and now she looks like she's getting old, and her hair is
Yep,
turning
she was
gray."
rapidly
and her,
aging.
Yep.
Right.
So that right
I
there,
did
as
read
soon as
that.
I heard that, I was like, okay,
Yeah,
100% her.
Right.
But the storytelling through all the little notes, and I didn't know you could hit F on the keyboard if you're playing on PC to make the note pop up to where you can read it.
Yeah.
But there's one letter, which I got to ask you something about on the ship anyway. I forgot to. I'll get to it in a second. There's a letter that you read that it's got like a bunch of dots or whatever to signify that obviously they don't want you to know what they're talking about, but they're referencing all kinds of different stuff. So it leads me to believe that 7 is a rebuilding of the RE universe, possibly.
Possibly, yeah.
But who really knows? Because at the end, which this is spoilers, so if you get upset at it, sorry, we warned you like 5 times. Chris
also,
Redfield
this game's
shows
been
up.
out for a little bit.
Yeah, Chris Redfield shows up in an Umbrella helicopter.
Yes.
Which is weird,
Umbrella
and he
gear.
doesn't look the same.
Yeah, he's a little bit
He looks
reskinned.
completely different, in my opinion. And I really like Chris. He's my favorite Resident Evil character. But yeah, it's I love the storytelling of it. All the notes.
Okay.
Like I've always liked Resident Evil, how it left little notes.
The lore, yeah.
But this one it was different.
Yeah. The lore of the Resident Evil games, and like I said, the notes, because again, a little bit biased on the whole favorite characters thing, but Resident Evil 4, I really liked a lot of the note that you would find in Resident Evil 4 because you had like several different note people that would leave it. There, like you said, there's so much story you get through that because Ada would leave notes. You'd have notes from Louise that he would leave stuff, and then you'd have notes from like the village people. You know what I mean?
Yo,
Where it's
man.
like, oh, because before you even run into Ada, they reference her in one of the notes. It's like, oh, there's a third party that is now around here, and you're saying, what are they talking about? You know, so it's a lot of fun. I love the way they do. Like I said, I really like the Resident Evil games. They've grown and changed a whole lot over the years, but I love them anyway.
My question to you on the boat: where is the stupid key to get the machine gun? I beat the game without the machine gun.
Congrats.
I don't know where the key is.
Well done. I don't know how you manage that. It is. Oh. So when you are able to kind of go free reign on the boat, you can go back to the room where like the kitchen area is.
Yeah.
And off from the kitchen area, you remember you can go straight in. There's the kitchen, and there's that little room to the side where you had to climb up through the little vent earlier.
Uh-huh.
Well, there's a room in there. There's a door in there that's open now that wasn't open before.
Is that the one that leads to the paintings you gotta line up?
Yes. When you line all the paintings up, that's when you get the key.
Didn't get the key. I got a first aid instead. I don't remember. It wasn't
At least
the key.
I think that's where you get the key.
Wasn't the
Maybe
key.
I'm wrong.
It was something else.
I may be wrong, but I thought that's where you got the key. To be
You had to
honest
have
with
the
you.
captain's key, and I couldn't find it. Like I spent like
Or maybe it was in another room down.
I only had like 2.5 hours left, if even.
Yeah.
And I spent a very long time looking for it, and I just was like, I'm not spending any more time looking for this. I'm going.
Yeah, I really don't remember to be.
But I will tell you how I
honest
was
with you.
killing the big old fat. I'm gonna puke on everybody, people.
Oh,
I was
yeah,
throwing
yeah.
down the bombs and exploding them.
Yeah, those mines were best friends. Those explosive proximity mines. Yeah, I use those a lot. Yeah, I didn't like the machine gun much anyway.
It would have been good
because
against the last little after
Yes.
you fight the wall that comes at you, I guess. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I own up to problems and mistakes. I screwed up like 3 times and died on the last boss. But I
That's fine.
had 12 handgun ammo, 3 magnum ammo,
Yeah.
and some shotgun shells, and that was it. Because I had all this machine gun ammo, didn't use it. Which is whatever. I mean, I still beat it. I got where I needed to go.
Yeah.
Just did it a little more tough.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's perseverance in the face of adversity.
But I will
And I
say
commend
this,
you.
and a lot of games are doing this these days. They like it started giving me tons of ammo. And if anybody
Yeah.
plays games as much as we do, they realize that okay, you got all this
Boss
ammo.
fight coming.
There's a boss fight coming. Well, the equivalent of the boss fight was running through like 15 of the molded, and then 2 of the big bloaty eyes that spit everywhere.
Yeah.
Now after you kill them, you're pretty much out of ammo. And I'm pretty sure it's designed to be that way. Because when you climb up that ladder and you see the wheelchair, you're like, okay, we got to fight Grandma
Where we're
now.
going. Yeah.
And then it comes to find out it's Evelyn up there doing some kind of psionic stuff. And you got a block, which I didn't realize when I first did
either.
it.
He got me with that too.
She pushed me back, and I was like, wait a minute, that took health, so let's just block every time. So I finally got up to her, injected her, and then she was that old woman.
Yeah.
Which leads me to wonder how much of what she was doing was still you being infected with her, if you yourself were being infected with her crap.
That's a question. And also, like I said, it's just a lot of it's very psychological. And I'll get into this. And I don't want to cause too much more of like a ramp off of this. But one thing that I was thinking a lot about during Resident Evil 7, one thing that I was thinking a lot about, and that it reminded me of the molded and the way some of that worked, made me think a lot of the Ouroboros from Resident Evil 5. The way like the black tarish, moldy, goopy looking stuff. It made me think a lot of that. And so I don't know if that is like a connection at all, but it kind of gave me vibes of that.
Well, see, it used words in those notes for like the fungus they found or whatever.
Yeah,
that they were using to make this weapon, and usually I'll look at stuff up, but I didn't do it this time.
Because Ouroboros was a fungal thing too, wasn't
Ouroboros was made out of a herb found in Africa? Or maybe it was a parasite. I don't remember.
Either way,
I played 5 and
similar.
6 or 7
I know, me either, but I digress. So, Resident Evil, the tops, Star Wars. We got videos coming out of Star Wars. It's been great. We've talked about it. I guess we talked about it last week too, didn't we?
Yeah. I will say this about the Star Wars stuff.
Yes.
We're not going to be as chatty in it because there's a lot going on.
A lot of story stuff, yeah.
Some of it's just dead spots. But if you want to enjoy watching the flashpoints just to see what the flashpoints like, then
or even the story stuff, just to get to see what they look like. Because even some of the story stuff on the flashpoints, like I said, we're kind of quiet, but that's because we're letting this cutscenes play out, and you get to hear and see the character development and stuff. But yeah, I still think they're gonna be fun videos. It's still some good content for you guys. There's still gonna be funny moments and mishaps like we had happen earlier.
Oh yeah, somebody decided to jump off a cliff.
Okay, I was jumping to the bad guy. I wasn't aware you were going to push him off the cliff.
You problem.
It was a me problem. You guys, in order to find out what we're talking about, you got to watch the video. See what I did there. But yeah, it's been fun, and definitely some more of that to come. So, anything else on the playing?
No.
Do you have any collectibles to show off this week?
One.
Okay. Let you do that now, because I'm saving the big one, which is food, for last.
Okay.
I think it's going to be our biggest one for this
week. At a truck stop
in
Corbin, which is where you're at, they had the 1990s Batmobile, like the one from the animated series. This thing's huge.
Ooh, that is huge, and I love the little hood comes up. That's awesome.
You can't really see it. The taillights, afterburner, the motor, which is
Nice.
whatever. I don't even know what this car is actually called. If you look it up, it'll tell you. I just know this
Animated
is the
series.
animated series Batmobile. I'm talking like the actual what they turn this car
Oh.
into from, because it's actually got a real life counterpart. Like
Huh.
this car was
Either
a
way.
real thing at one point.
It is stunning, and it is awesome. It's an awesome collectible, especially to find at a truck stop. But you never know what you're going to find.
They
in places.
had the Tumbler, is obviously Chris Nolan. That guy.
Yeah, Christopher Nolan, the Nolan
Was
Batman.
his Batmobile. They got the new Zack Snyder Batmobile, and then they had the Batmobile like I had unboxed a few weeks ago. Other
Yeah,
than
like
that,
Batman, Robin.
I do have
Batman
a
Forever.
shirt that I have not opened. It's a
Oh,
Funko shirt.
nice little Batman.
Got this forever ago. I actually was going to just throw it away given the circumstances of personal shit that happened. But you know what? Screw it. It's Batman. I'm not getting rid of it. So let's
There
open
you
this
go.
thing and see what it is. If I can open it.
Wear it in spite of personal circumstances.
Okay. So I don't know how to do a t-shirt unboxing, so I don't even know how to do an unboxing. I usually leave it to James. Stop and focus.
That was very Daft Punk of you. Stop and focus. Stop and focus. I don't know.
I don't know
Sounds like
what
a song.
Daft Punk is, but
It's a band. They do like
I know it's EDM.
music. Yeah, hey, you know.
They
He-
did
he
the
got it.
Tron
He's-
soundtrack.
He's with cool kids.
Love Tron. I want to watch
Me
the
too.
originals.
I've seen the original and I've seen Legacy.
Alright,
Both are
so here we are.
good. Ooh, that's cool. That's really cool. I
Gotham.
like the signal. Yeah, and it's got its like mask or cowl down there,
Does
like into it, built into it. Yeah,
told you I know.
dig
I'm
it. Got the
Eh.
Gotham Watchtower, Gotham Clock Tower. Ooh, I love that. Nice. Wayne Enterprise Building.
Yeah, I figured I'd.
I like it. Looks dupe.
Hey, other than that, pretty much it.
Yep, because I don't have anything this week. So we're going to get into food.
I will say this: this Batmobile is probably one of my favorite
It is really nice.
things ever.
So classic.
And I'm out of focus, but whatever, you're talking.
So, food wise, what I've been eating, I told you a lot of that basically the stuff I was going to cover on in the Florence stuff. But the only other new thing that I've had, or new things that I've had, was we did try the Arby's chicken nuggets today. Apparently, Arby's is doing chicken nuggets now.
Did not know.
Yeah, they were all right. They were the ones we got were very fatty. They had a lot of fat on them, and we don't like a lot of fat on our chicken. So they were just okay. Nothing to write home about. Whatever. I also had KFC has new chicken sandwiches and spicy chicken sandwiches. I guess they're doing theirs a little bit different. It was good. I got the spicy variety. Could have used a little more spice. There was hardly any of the spicy sauce in it, but the chicken itself was phenomenal. That's the difference. KFC, their chicken sandwich was incredible. Also, what I had is I tried two new sauces. Frank's Red Hot has come out with thick sauces, as they call them. Frank's Red Hot thick sauce. They had spicy barbecue, Frank's Red Hot barbecue, and Frank's Red Hot Buffalo Ranch. They're both really good. I like the Buffalo Ranch a little bit better, I think, just because I can kind of use it with more things because I like the ranchy flavor and buffalo to dip fries in and nuggets and whatever in. But they're both pretty good. I like the heat that comes off of it. The smoky or not smoky. The barbecue sauce had like a nice tangy heat to it with a little bit of smoke. Whereas in the Buffalo Ranch just tastes like a good Buffalo Ranch sauce with a little bit of heat.
Yeah, I
So
think
both
one
of
of
those
my
are really good.
one of my gripes with Frank Red Hot is how it is so watery. I don't like watery sauces. Oh, maybe I
Well,
like that.
You might would like it because they're pretty thick. And then I've got 4 things to try for you tonight. So, do you have any new foods to talk about or foods to try before we dive into this?
I'll say what I did try this week. I tried crab.
Oh yeah, for your first time.
Unfortunately, it is not for me.
That's
It's not
fair.
bad. It's just it's not.
I get it.
Other than that, I did try a Wagyu burger, which I've always wanted to try Wagyu because
Yeah,
it's
me too.
high quality beef.
I'm jealous of you on that.
Pretty good, pretty good. Really tender. It just melts. It retains a
Makes
lot
my
of
mouth water.
smoky flavor if it's made on a barbecue.
Oh,
It was great.
I'm gonna have to try it. Where did you try it at?
Red
Can I
Lobster.
ask? Oh, I see. I didn't know they had Wagyu.
It
Okay,
says new on their menus. I don't know.
I'll
What
remember.
else? I want to say I tried something else, but I cannot remember. If I remember it, I'll come back to it.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna start sweet and finish salty. Probably should do that the opposite way around. But first up, Kit Kat has a new flavoring out, limited edition. It's
Back up.
fruity,
There you go.
fruity cereal. It's got a big bowl of Fruit Loops on there. It's like a pink looking color. I love Kit Kats and I love Fruit Loops. Let's try it out because it could still go bad. Because just because I love those two things, I also love Kit Kats and Pop Tarts, and or I also love Fruit Loops and Pop Tarts, and the Fruit Loops Pop Tarts I'm not a fan of. All right. Break me off a piece.
Of that Kit Kat bar.
So here's the Kit Kat. Pink, got a little bit of multicolor in there. There's one about right in.
He looks intrigued.
I like this. I don't know why I like it, but I like it.
Like what they like, man. I won't knock them. I just won't do it.
Is it because you don't like Kit Kats or you don't like fruity cereal or both?
Oh, I was just talking general. Like people can like what they like. If I don't like it,
Hmm.
I'm not gonna harp on you for it. Which is the way the world should be. Everybody would get along a lot better, I think. They just find something else to gripe about. So you know what? Hate each other for whatever.
That's good, man. I don't know how to explain it, and I don't want to. It's just good, just straight up good. Kit Kats, Fruit Loops sponsor me. I loved that. Um,
So, funny
uh,
story, real quick, before we go any further. I get an Amazon email.
yes,
Just so happens to be that,
nice,
which is funny.
very nice. They they heard us.
Well, I was looking at it the other day because I didn't want to spend what they wanted for it at the store, but whatever.
Fair enough. Yeah, that Kit Kat Fruit Loop. I don't know why, but it just works. For some reason, those two flavors mesh so perfect. It's because it's not like an overpowering of the fruity flavor, and it just meshes. You know, Kit Kat, they've got every kind of
See,
flavor
I'm
of
gonna
Kit
tell
Kat.
you why I don't like fruity pebbles. It ain't that. Or wait, is it Fruit Loop flavored? I
This is
guess it
Fruit
doesn't
Loop.
matter. See, I love Fruit
Yeah, it
Loops,
just is fruity cereal,
but
but it's
my
got Fruit
problem
Loops
with
on the pick.
fruity pebbles, because we'll just go to this,
Hmm.
they sog too quick. I like to let my
I agree.
cereal sit in there for a minute and let the milk get kind of flavored. But no, you gotta like, it's a marathon or a race. As soon as you put that milk in there, you're like shoveling if you don't want it to taste like oatmeal. And I hate oatmeal.
And I love oatmeal. They've actually got new oatmeals I want to try. They have a new cereal flavored oatmeal. They've got they've got Trix, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and another one, and I can't think of what it is, but they got a bunch of new oatmeal flavors with cereal. Oh, it's a Lucky Charms. There's Lucky Charms, Trix, and Cinnamon Toast Crunch oatmeals, and I am really wanting to try those. But I didn't get those yet. But the Fruit Loop Kit Kat is Hot diggity dog. That is a
Hot diggity
10 out
dog.
of 10. 10 out of 10. That's maybe an 11 out of 10. I'm just going to tell you. Starting off strong tonight, which I didn't get any like really freaky stuff tonight. I got all stuff that I thought I would like. So next up,
Oh god,
'cause
it's
I'm trying to-
Ritz, isn't it?
it is Ritz limited edition dill pickle. Your favorite. They're the crisp and thins, man, or yeah, crisp and thins, oven baked. I gotta lose some of this weight, y'all. I gotta get my beach body back.
I just want the world to know he never had a beach body. I mean, at one point he was incredibly skinny, but we wouldn't call it a beach body. He was pale as
That's
paper.
fair. God, this thing's. I'm gonna get my beach body workout just opening it. But yeah, so I'm getting a lot of like thin stuff. There's your thumbnail. And cracker stuff. I love pickles. Whoa, I don't know if I love them that much. Oh, that smell. Here's a nice, fun looking shape right here.
God,
Man,
it
look
looks.
at that.
Wait, back it off a little from the camera. See, it just got a hint of green to it. Like, it doesn't look normal. And he eats it anyway. Well, if he turns into a zombie, I'm bashing his head in. It's fair warning. You
Here's the
looked
thing, I
like
don't-
Data did whenever they accidentally hit the wrong optical port on Star Trek. And he makes that weird face. Like, that's exactly the face you made. You're like,
I don't hate it, and I will eat it. It's just I don't know. It definitely is like a dill pickle cracker. I just feel like they went a little overboard with the dill. A little overboard. It's a bit much. I like dill pickle flavoring and all that stuff, but that's just a little too strong. Like you said, you can see that green through the camera. A little too much green for me. All right.
all green
Next,
is all mean.
I got two flavors of Cheez-It Snapped. So I'm gonna show you both, and Doc, you'll tell me which one to try first.
I'd just
here.
like to let the world know I am not a Cheez-Its fan. What, a
This
smoked
is-
bacon and cheddar?
That's right. Look at that. Oh man, it looks good. And then we have Parmesan Ranch.
Try
Now,
the Parmesan Ranch last. I'm going ahead and calling
Last.
it.
Okay, so I also want to say these bags have a get free lunch on us. Apparently, if I buy any of these bags, whatever, I have to wait. Oh, I have to do it in the same transaction. Well, I missed out on that. But if you buy a bag of these and bread, cheese, and or lunch meat in the same transaction between the dates listed, take a picture of the receipt and qualifying purchases, and with the qualifying purchases, and upload it to KFR or whatever. And let's see, and you will get a $5 voucher for the purchase of the bread, cheese, and or lunch meat.
All
Fun.
right, let me stop right there. It says lunch on them, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
Lunch meat itself is going to be $3.
Yeah.
Bread itself is going to be $2.
Yeah.
So
And
you're not
cheese is
you're not
$2.
going to get the covered cheese. This is a scam. Calling you out, Cheez-Its. It's a scam.
Well, here's your cheese. You just put these on. Put some crackers on it.
It's a scam, and I'm calling you out. Come at me. I don't have a lawyer, so don't come at me. Also, you'll have to pay more in court costs than you'll get out of me.
Wasn't Johnson? Wait, Johnson? Jefferson? What's my butler's name?
Jones.
Jones. I knew it started with a J.
How do you not know your own butler? I almost
been a
hired a
while.
guy named Alfred the other day, and I really wanted to, but they said he didn't show up for orientation. I wanted an Alfred.
What, do you get a better offer? Wayne Enterprises or something?
I
You
don't
are
know.
D Wayne.
D Wayne. That's funny.
There's
That's
The
real wavy.
smoked
Smoked
bacon and cheddar.
and bacon.
Oh, it smells good. I smell the smoked bacon and a little bit of the cheddar.
I don't know what that sound effect was he just did, but ignore it.
Very bacony. And that is not a bad thing. Mm. Mm-hmm.
Calm down over there. You look like you're in euphoria right now.
I could eat an entire bag of these in one setting. I do need to put those down. So let me go back. I need to go back and rate the pickle chips, pickle crackers. Those I'm going to give about a 4.5 to a 5 out of 10.
Thought you were gonna give him a 3, so I guess I was wrong.
No, because it's still pickles. Even if it's too much pickle, it's still pickle. Kit Kats are still a 10 out of 10. These smoked bacon and cheddar, I'm going to give a strong 8 out of 10. A strong 8 out of 10.
Pretty high up there.
They're really good, and I could see me like it's that perfect like flavor and crunch and stuff that I could see me just reaching and snacking on a whole bag of these in a setting. So I got to be careful there. And now I'm really nervous because here's the Parmesan Ranch, which I actually expect to be better than those. And I'm a little nervous actually because I don't know if these will top those anymore. I thought this would be better, but oh man, that opened up real wide. Now these Cheez-Its are definitely lighter looking. As you see, there's less orange.
Yeah, they're more of a white. He's not getting the same look of satisfaction as he did off the other.
These are falling apart way easier. I know that much. Okay, I need one more. So here's. Let me get one more. No, I'll tell you.
He's trying.
Whatever. So here's the thing about the Parmesan. Oh, that one is pretty good. So those are good. Those are really good, and I'm definitely gonna eat them. I did enjoy it. If I gave the others an 8 out of 10, I'd give those a 7 out of 10 because I do love Parmesan flavored things. I love ranch flavored things. But first of all, the flavor wasn't quite. It didn't pack quite the same punch that the bacon and cheddar did. That bacon and cheddar, you could taste bacon, and anybody who knows bacon, sorry, vegetarians and vegans, anybody who knows bacon knows that it's one of the ultimate foods and flavors that in existence. And so the Parmesan Ranch doesn't punch quite as much flavor. It didn't even taste like that last one I got had a little more flavoring on it, and it tasted a lot better. But not only that, but it's weird. Even though it's lighter on the flavoring, something about Parmesan flavored things. Like I've got this Parmesan garlic pretzel sticks, which are good, and I do enjoy them, and I can eat them. I had some for lunch earlier, but it's not a flavor that I can sit and eat a whole bag at once, right? You get like a good handful or a good little bowl of it and snack on it, but it's not a flavor in my mouth that I can continually eat. Whereas in the bacon and cheese crackers like that, I can just sit and eat all day. So, but it is good. Um, it's just the flavoring is different, I guess I would say. So all in all, the Kit Kat thing was my favorite. Then the bacon cheddar, then the Parmesan ranch, then the dill pickle. None of it was bad, but some things were just a little bit better. And that's my food review of the week. And I think that actually brings us to the end of this episode, unless you have any final thoughts before I give our closing.
Nah, not this week. I think we're pretty much right where we need to be.
Got you guys a good one in this week, the week of July 9th of 2021. Thank you thank you for stopping by. Be
Ah,
sure to like.
drop something. Anyway, I forgot. We did forget to mention one thing.
Yes.
Phasmophobia has 2 new ghosts.
Yes, a yokai and a goobity-gok.
Hantu.
A Hantu. As opposed to a Haunt 1. Anyhow, we'll definitely be trying to catch them, and when I say we, I mean Levi's going back out on the case. Maybe he'll catch something new. Maybe he'll catch a better attitude. So, other than that,
My last email from Levi, he's still very upset with his contract, and he said he will stop at nothing to control this company. So
I don't know. He's really pushing this whole takeover thing. I don't know what we're gonna do about that guy. That crazy.
I mean,
Did
we
you see
could
the
kill him.
thumbnail
But
he used? That thumbnail, you can't kill him. That's me.
I just said it was a suggestion. I didn't say we had to do it. Jesus.
I digress. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this with your friends, sound off in the comments below, and be sure to eat your cereal. It's part of a whole balanced breakfast, even if it's in a Kit Kat form. I'm sure it's just as nutritious and healthy. And
He is not a nutrition expert. Do not listen to that.
all right, everybody. See you next time.